Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about how to make this wire person or creature, whatever you like to call it. It is made out of twisty wire, and the other things you're going to need are a pair of scissors, you're going to need buttons, and you are going to need, possibly some beads. So it's possible that they could make 3 buttons, like this bead could be a button too, but the bead kind of adds an extra touch. Anyway, this is the twisty wire. This is the full length of it. And if you are helping with putting this together, we're going to start right away by saying, okay, we're going to start with half pieces. This is actually made out of 2 half pieces. And so the legs and the body part are actually going to be cut in half again. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. All right, so, and I'll put an additional color in here in just a moment. Anyway, a couple things that we figured out is that you're going to want to use buttons that have 4 holes. I tried it with the 2 holes, did not work well. I'm not saying it won't work, but I wouldn't encourage the kids to use the 2-hole buttons. So the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out about where halfway is for this wire. And this is going to be my body, so I'm going to stick it through 2 of the holes that are diagonal from each other. My speaker's being a little goofy. All right, and I'm going to pull it through. So they're not perfectly even, but they're pretty close. Once I get those through, this is going to become the legs. So I do want to take and just twist it so that it keeps a little bit intact and in place. And with this, the legs become pretty simple. All you're going to do is just curl up and make some feet. And the kids can obviously play around with it with all different types of motions or movement of the legs. And it might be something they do after they're done. All right, so the 2 remaining holes are going to be where I take this wire and start the, what would we call it, the torso more so. All right, so I'm going to pull it through. Again, it's always probably best to just add a little twist on it just to kind of secure the piece a little bit more to the button. So I'm just going to twist. On this one, I did add a twist, a couple of twists before I went up to the body part. So it's up to you. The body can be as close as the kids want it. So I'm going to leave it at that. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my body on. And so what I want to do with this, now I think they probably could get away with a 2-hole button on this one, but I kind of like using the 4-hole. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is going to be my torso and arms. So I'm going to stick it through the back. And that was not the back. It's still going to work though. All right, and then I'm going to, oh, it is the back. Okay. So I'm going to stick it through the back, and then I'm going to have it come through the top one, and that's going to be its arm, possibly on this side. I may end up changing that later. Same thing, stick it through. Pull it. All right, and so we have some pretty simple arms. Now, what I noticed on this one is I ended up, because it was kind of moving around a little bit, so I ended up actually twisting the arms so this one came over here and this one came here, but just let the kids play around with it. They are sometimes much more creative than we are. So anyway, I'm going to add an arm on this and maybe give it a muscle look, and we'll play with that later. Okay, so the next thing is to get my second wire, and again I'm going to start with a half piece. And I'm going to go ahead and somehow attach it from the back. So I'm just basically going to take it, I'm going to take it through the wires that are already there, just to attach it to the previous one. I usually say try and get the wires pretty even, but again, it's not perfect and it's not meant to be. Probably a good idea to twist or knot somehow so that again it's going to be attached to the buttons a little bit more. So if the twist isn't working, just simply knot it. That's what's really cool about this sculpture, is it's just pretty easy to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a knot on this back. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this up. This is going to be the neck into the head. So I'll give it a neck, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. We'll leave that as the neck space right there. This is where we're going to slip on a bead. The only problem about slipping on a bead right now is it's going to go all the way down. So I need to put a knot at the end of the neck to hold the bead in place. I apologize if you're hearing the static of my speaker. It's just having a bad day. Oop, that's an arm. Okay, so there we go. We get this, and then you're going to slip a bead on. There should be all sorts of colors of beads. I even found that it's pretty cool to add 2 beads to make a little bigger, funner head. Funner? More interesting head. But I didn't have enough, so 1 works just fine also. Okay, so this becomes the neck, the head. I can slide it down as far as I want. And again, to make this head stay in place more, I would say knot it again. Just even 1 knot just to kind of put it in place. And these are meant to be just kind of fun, almost alien-like creatures. And so they can do with this what they want. I suppose if they had more wires, they could make hair and such, but you know, I think I'm just going to leave it as kind of a, like I said, an alien with some antennas. All right, and there we go. This one, the neck might be a little bit longer than what I wanted originally. So a couple other things. It's a little wobbly right here, so we'll have a glue gun handy if you want to add some glue, if that helps. We also have some pen backs, so that if you want to hot glue a pen back on there, if the student wants a pen, then they could wear it. You could also tell them if they have a magnet at home, they could put it up on their fridge with a magnet, but we don't have any of those unfortunately. So that is it. That is how to make your little wire creature.